Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers, and welcome to your morning housing market update. We're going to go over a plethora of information today, y'all. But where I want to start is basically giving you an idea of where I'm at, again, in my own purchasing goals right now. So some of you may know that I have to the end of this month to figure out my living situation. And I made a couple of videos on my conclusion on what I was going to do next. And one of my plans was to upgrade our rental, right? So I wanted to move into a bigger rental. I work out of my house a lot of the times. And anyway, so that was my plan. And you guys, I have, let's see here, 22 days left, and we still haven't signed a lease agreement. So that's really nerve-wracking, especially because we have children and things like that. But what we decided to do is we are actually extending this lease here, and I'm extending this lease here. Unfortunately, it's for the better, you guys. We're extending our lease here for 8 months. It's going to bring us to February of 2024. Primary reason I did that is our wife and I were talking, and the problem is there's not enough rental properties available on the market that will fit our needs without having to spend like $1,000 more a month. So we decided to just go through the pain and suffering for an additional 8.5 months. Now we're going to February because, as we learned, and hopefully you guys saw this in this channel, we learned some of the best buying opportunities are during December to February. So I'm going to push this out to February. And while I'm doing that, y'all, and I could have taken, another rental house, spending $1,000 more a month, for mental health and things like that. But by staying here another 8 months, it's allowing us to save additional money, and it's allowing us to basically increase our purchasing power. So, I think overall, y'all, it's a good thing. Good morning to everyone. Let me say my good mornings real quick. Sorry, guys. Paul, good morning. Good morning. Cindy, good morning. I'm sorry, dude. Your name just slipped my mind. Juliet, good morning. Cindy, good morning. Kim, Luke, they do not crash right away, of course. Melissa's joining us. Juliet, I see you. All right. So anyways, you guys, we're going to start, I wanted to give you guys an update on my personal situation. And then as far as an update with my channel, this evening's video, I worked really hard. I actually filmed this yesterday. I worked really hard on this video. It's a boots on the ground video where I'm going into a community here in Texas called Centura. The reason I'm covering this, it's a huge master plan community. It has right now $3 billion worth of active listings just in that master plan community. But I'm covering it because the developer built this master plan community, y'all, in the middle of a floodplain, literally in the middle of a floodplain. So I went there and I wanted to see how honest the sales reps were being. And there's 30 builders in this master plan community. And honestly, guys, it was shocking. About half of the people were honest with us about the homes being in a floodplain. And then the other half of the people we talked to straight up lied to us and said it's not in a floodplain. So a lot of crazy stuff going on with new construction. And then also sometime next week, I'm going to be interviewing Minority Mindset. We're going to get all kinds of mindsets on the channel that day. So I'll be interviewing him, and I'll probably put a poll out to see what questions you guys think that I should ask him. I like his composure. He's a very intelligent person, but he's going to be on our channel. All right. Now, here's where I'm going to start, you guys. I'm going to do a quick market update. We're going to look at interest rates. And then after that, I'm going to take you guys into the active MLS. So just, I really think it's important for me to continuously cover market analysis because that's one really simple, effective way to find a great deal and to know how to find a great deal. So we don't just want to be sitting on the sideline necessarily only increasing our purchasing power. We want to, most of us want to be on the sideline increasing our purchasing power, but also understanding the housing market, right? And understanding what's a great deal to us and what's a great deal in reality. So I'm going to take you guys through, again, a complete market analysis. I'm going to do it very quickly. And I'm going to show you guys also how to calculate a payment, being in the public seat, right? So I'm going to show you guys, again, market analysis. We're going to find a house and we're going to calculate the payment. Now, after that, we're going to listen to a video from this Treasury Secretary Yellen. Super boring, but very important. She's going to go into commercial real estate and things like that. We're going to go into an article about upbeat homeowners because survey was just put out. More and more people are saying it's a good time to sell. And that's what we want to hear. We want more people in the resale market to continue to sell their houses. New construction, I'll argue, we're just fine. And in fact, the crazy thing about new construction, you guys, And it just hit me in the face when I went there again yesterday. I don't know why their stocks are all-time high. It's like so shocking to me. Now, in order for them to sell, they're offering ridiculous buying incentives, like I told y'all would happen, towards the beginning of last year. I said, insane buying incentives. And right now, you guys, we went to a new home building community where Lennar, okay, was offering a 4.5% fixed rate FHA. Lennar plus $10,000 in closing. So they're pulling out like all of the bells and whistles here to sell their houses. But you guys, I was like, wow, 4.5, 30-year fixed rate. That's probably costing, depending on the purchasing price, $40,000. Y'all, the only way most of these builders are selling is these out. Well, again, depending on your metro area specific. I'm talking about my own in Houston. They're doing insane things right now, which, to me, it's still not worth it. Unless I could be part of the building process and have the property inspected at various stages of construction, I don't even want to touch a new home. I don't even want to touch it. Too many bad stories. But you guys, let's start by taking a look at the market. There's Johnny. Johnny, I was wondering where you were. All right, I didn't get my morning. Are you nervous from Johnny? Absolutely love you, brother. Thank you for support. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm trying to do the best I can to not only report to you guys what I believe is happening, provide you guys data, but also give you guys, tricks on how to find a good deal. But ultimately, we all have to make up our minds on our own. Obviously, you guys know I'm extremely bearish with the housing market, and I'm walking that out myself. So I'm not just sitting here lying, right? I'm not just sitting here just fuming and throwing up toxicity. I'm actually walking out every single thing I'm telling you guys. Now, I almost messed up. All right. I almost messed up, and I almost got a rental that was $1,000 more a month. Okay. When I should be saving my money, and I'm preaching to you guys to save your money, and I almost messed up, but I didn't mess up. Okay. Almost did. Let's take a look at interest rates. All right. Let's start with interest rates, you guys. So here's what interest rates updated to yesterday. They updated to 6.94. More than likely, we're going to hit 7% today. But I did want to show you guys 6.94 as of right now. Let's take a look at the 10-year. You guys know the 10-year runs with 30-year fixed rate mortgages. So the 10-year is basically flat. It's down 0.02 basis points right now. Now, this has been fluctuating. I actually saw this go up as high as about almost 3 basis points this morning. So it's kind of going up and down a little bit. Nothing concrete. Now, I want to show you guys, here's the CMA Fed tracker. Let me refresh it. So right now it's at 29.9, you can see here. So this is the market basically saying the likelihood that the Federal Reserve is going to increase interest rates, in their opinions, is 29.9%. Now, this is going all over the place. So let me refresh it and see if it's changed. It's gone down 0.1%. So the predominant amount of the market is thinking, 70% chance anyways, is thinking that there's going to be a pause this month. 30% say no. I hope there's not going to be a pause this month. Obviously, we need to control the housing market, which completely blew off the hinges once again, pretty much the start of March. And what do we know about March? And what happened in March? The bank bailout. And I remember that specifically because it was the 1-year anniversary of my channel, and and we were all excited. We're like, the 10-year hit 4%. The market's crashing. We had all this price decline, and then boom, bank bailout. Things start going the opposite direction. There's an impact there, right? So, all right, guys, what I'm going to do now is let me just set this up here. I want you guys to pay attention. This is an important part of the video, okay? I'm going to do my timestamps. Right now, I'm still a little under the weather, you guys. The allergies out here in Houston are just killing me. Absolutely killing me. And Paul probably knows. No. Paul's from Canada. I'm sorry. Paul probably doesn't know. Melissa, appreciate you, girl. Smash the like button. Now, listen to me. This is going to be the most important part of this video, okay? And I'm going to start all of my lives, doing this. We're going to go into my active MLS. And this is, if you're a realtor, this is, in my opinion, what realtors should be doing to their clients. If you don't have access to MLS, that's okay. You can still have a realtor help you. But I'm also going to show you how to calculate a payment. Now, ultimately, you guys, you want to have, things like payment and out-of-pocket expense calculated from a loan officer where you're already pre-qualified with, right? But this is a nice tool to use, and I'm about to show you, to actually come up with a payment on the fly, just to give you an idea of, what the value and the payment of something would be. But again, you're going to want to go to your loan officer. A loan officer's job is to do those things. But take a look at this, you guys. And unfortunately, the way my screen share is working right now, it's going to be a little glitchy because there's something wrong with StreamYard. But here is my active MLS. Okay, this is what realtors have access to. This is all live data. So like I don't have to wait for Zillow or Redfin or any of this because I can actually run my own reports through the Matrix, okay, or MLS, and analyze sold properties. So this is just such a great tool, y'all. And all of my classes that I teach realtors, even if it's about appraisals or video or whatever it is, I always try to start here because in my opinion, this is so important to do versus cheerleading, versus that toxic cheerleading, just buy, home values go up and up and up. Stop doing that and start showing people the data, right? Show people how to use the data. And I hope you guys are learning that here. So when I go to my MLS, I'm going to go to the first thing I'm going to do is a market analysis on Kingwood. Kingwood is the area that we've been mostly analyzing together as a community. So we're going to do a quick market analysis. This is going to take me a couple minutes on Kingwood. So again, I'm going to go to sold properties. I'm going to go into the year of 2022. So just January to December 31st. Okay. All sold properties. Again, I'm going to put in Kingwood because I just want to do a quick market analysis on Kingwood. All right. I'm going to hit results. I'm going to select all. I'm going to hit stats. I'm going to tabular. How long did that take me, you guys? How long did that take me? Seriously, that took me, 2 minutes to do? And what do we now know, okay? This is what we need right here. This is what we need to start out with. So this is what we know, okay? With our market analysis, that took us 2 minutes. In Kingwood, the average home sold for $148 a square foot, okay? In 2022. Now, you can go back to 2020, but just for the sake of this video, I'm only going to 2022. I know that last year, average house is selling for $148, all right? Now I'm not blind. Now I've enlightened myself. I don't have to listen to sales agents. I don't have to listen to loan officers. I now know $148 a square foot in 2022. Again, you go all the way back to 2019 if you want to. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my MLS. I'm going to go to the active listings. I'm going to type in Kingwood. Okay, there's only 67 listings in Kingwood right now. That's crazy. What's up with this? Okay, let's hit results. And remember, I'm going to go here and I'm going to categorize this by price per square foot. I'm sorry that it's glitchy. It's a StreamYard thing. So I've categorized this by price per square foot. And I can see here that there are 25 listings that are selling for under $148. Now those 25 listings, y'all, represents 37% of the inventory in Kingwood selling for under 2022 values. I want it to be 100% for obvious reasons, but 37% is decent. But look at how few $120 a square foot homes there are. And you guys remember that actually ballooned up. So anyways, in 3.5 minutes, I now have basically a bird's eye view of Kingwood in 3.5 minutes. And this is the data that, again, this is how I want you guys to start your research, right? Start your interviewing for realtors or whatever. This is how you start. Now, let's say, for example, you want to buy this house right here. I'm going to show you guys how to calculate payment. This is very important, okay? So here's a house right here, all right? Now, when you calculate your payment, again, you go to your loan officer. I want you guys to go to your loan officer. But when you calculate your payment, y'all, what's really important is to scroll to wherever it's listed on hearts on the bottom. And you got to find out what the property taxes are, especially in Texas, okay? So you can see here that the property taxes, $9,082 a year. Y'all see why it's so important to get taxes? That's almost 10 grand. Texas is crazy, okay? And another thing, that's 9 grand as of 2022. We're in 2023. So a lot of times these services are behind. So just be really careful. But again, I'm going to take the tax amount, which is $9,082. You can see that here. Okay, I'm going to take the purchase price of $359,000. All right, and I'm going to take the square footage of 3,012 because I know that rent is going for $1 a square foot, and I want to see if I can cash flow on this property as well. So very easy to do that, actually. Very easy to calculate that. So again, $1 a square foot. I have 3,012 square feet. You can see that here. Purchase price $349. We went over taxes. Okay, now that we have that information, we go to Google, all right? Mortgage payment calculator. Y'all see that? Okay, mortgage payment calculator. Again, I'm telling you, this is just some helpful information. You're always going to want to go to your loan officer to give you exact numbers or exact as possible. But mortgage calculator, Google. Now look at, Look at how easy this is. I put $359,000. That's the purchase price. I can play with the down payment. I'm only putting 5% down. I'm selecting bomb credit. Y'all should have bomb credit like I have bomb credit. Do y'all see where I put the taxes here? Okay. I increased the homeowner's insurance a little bit. There's my mortgage insurance. This means, y'all, all right, the payment at 5% down for the house I just showed you would be approximately, again, this is just approximately $3,393. Okay. So let's bring up a calculator. If the square footage, I don't even need to bring up a calculator. This is ridiculous. But if the square footage of the house is $3,012, I'm going to multiply it by the dollar a square foot. Okay. It's $1 a square foot times 1 equals $3,012. That means if we put this next to each other, okay, my mortgage payment is $3,393. But if I got median rent, my rent is only going to cover $3,012 of my mortgage payment. That means that essentially I would be in an emergency situation. The reason why we're calculating this is if we ever have to leave, right? Transfer, work, anything like that, and we have to leave, but we're upside down in our house or we don't want to sell our house, we want to be able to cash flow, right? We want to be able to cash flow if we have to rent it out. So in this situation, you guys can see here, it's upside down $400. So that's not really a good deal, right? Now, let me show you guys this. Now, things you guys can do to get this payment down. First of all, you can increase the down payment. Okay, so say I increase the down payment to 10%. Okay, good. Look at it. Goes down about, to $3,200. So we made a little bit of progress by putting 10% down. Now look at this. You guys, I've been telling you that I prefer to pay off all of the mortgage insurance up front. So if I pay all the mortgage insurance up front, maybe it's $6,000, $7,000. I can remove that because then I'll no longer have a monthly PMI payment, and I get my payment to $3,050. And that's my method, y'all. That's why I like the 10% down paying PMI, because it gets us right to median rent. Gets us right there. So I know that if I find like a really good deal, the mortgage payment should be lower than median rent. But you can see here by me paying 10% down and paying the PMI up front, I'm very close to cash flow. I'm not there, but I'm very close to cash flow. So anyways, you guys, I hope you liked what I was talking about. That's that segment, right? I mean, you guys, I'm going to be talking about this all the time. We talk a lot about the headlines. We talk a lot about what's going on, commercial, job market, all this type of stuff. But we can't ever forget to grow, okay? At least when you're watching my channel, I want you guys to grow with me. I want you guys to be empowered with me so we can make up our own mind, right? And I don't want to make up anyone's mind. I don't want to do anyone's thinking, but it is what it is. And real quick, I'm going to be making another video on the 0% down, 100% loan. I have got about 11 emails on that loan, and I have not responded to those emails, guys, because I'm not originating right now. So I'll make another video. If you guys want information on that loan, just reach out to Jennifer. She's a friend of mine. I make no money off of her, but she knows the loan. Her information is in my description. I'll make another video and I'll elaborate on that. But I'm not going to do it, you guys, because I really look at those loans as like, if the average person, that's going to hurt. I feel like the average person that gets a 0% down payment loan through a down payment assistance program is the biggest at risk. And in fact, down payment assistance program loans have the highest rate of foreclosure. So, I know everyone likes this loan, but you guys, I'm not going to march people off a cliff, even though I don't have a crystal ball, but I believe it in my heart. So I'm not going to do it. Oh man, I'm losing so much money by doing that, but who cares? Got to be able to sleep at night. So let's go over now and talk about, you guys, okay, this is what we're going to do now. Okay. Where did I put the video? Okay, here it is. We're going to listen to the Treasury Secretary. All right. She's kind of a big deal. But hang in there. She's so, just in my opinion, you guys, she's really boring to listen to. It was really hard for me to make it through this video, but she is so important to our country, our economy, and our housing market. So what she's saying is super important. Now she's going to go into commercial real estate, there's a total bloodbath brewing in commercial real estate. And then she's going to go into the strength of our banking system. And when I hear people say, especially officials like, oh, our banking system's strong and fine, like I always roll my eyes. It's like they can say that because they just printed $400 billion. Of course it's fine. You just gave them $400 billion. why wouldn't it be fine? You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, take the $400 billion out of the equation. Is it fine? No, it's not fine. Not at all. We would have had our job loss. We would have had our fear of missing out. We would have had all these things happen. But they bailed out the banks instead. But, anyways, guys, let's take a listen to this video. Very important person. Let me know if you guys can. Jeff is up. What's up, Jeff? Good morning, you guys. Let me know if the audio is good. Jeff, if you can, let me know if the audio is good. Let's play it now. You guys hear the volume? Okay, okay, okay. You guys cannot hear the volume. Super disappointing. Okay, I know what to do. Don't you worry. StreamYard is just really driving me crazy, you guys. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I got y'all. Don't worry. I know what's to do. Let's do it again. Maybe that was just like StreamYard saying, it is boring. Don't play this. You guys listen to her. Okay, I'm going to play it again. Let me know, okay? I'm going to play it again right
A
now.
lot of the regional banks, maybe not now, but come the end of this year, early next year, and the implications for that. Some people believe that there could be more bank failures. How concerned are you about that?
Well, I do think that there will be issues with respect to commercial real estate. Certainly, the demand for office space, since we've seen such a big change in attitudes and behavior toward remote work, that has changed. And especially in an environment of higher interest rates, I think banks are broadly preparing for some restructuring and difficulties going ahead. But I think certainly stress tests of the largest banks show that they have adequate capital to deal with it. And I know the supervisors will be looking closely at a wide range of banks to make sure that they're adequately prepared to deal with it. But my overall read is that the level of capital and liquidity in the banking system is strong, and that while there will be some pain associated with this, that banks should be able to handle the strain.
Would you be supportive of more consolidation in the banking business? I ask in part because on the other side of the administration, I think the Department of Justice and the FTC in particular have been very aggressive about trying to prevent transactions, not necessarily in the banking space, but given how outspoken you have been and the issues that may be unique in particular to the banking business.
Well, I see strength in a banking system that has a diverse set of financial institutions capable of satisfying different needs across our economy. And we do have a diverse banking system with strong community banks, regional banks, larger banks that are involved in global business. And I wouldn't want to see that threatened. But certainly in this environment, some banks are experiencing pressure on earnings, and there is a motivation to see some consolidation. And
all right, guys. All right, I see you've had enough. Okay, I see you've had enough. She's an important person. Okay, she's saying consumers are still spending money, basically warning of a commercial real estate collapse. But she's so boring. Look at Luke. Good morning, Luke. I love Luke. You guys, check out his channel. I really love Luke. Luke helps me. He's with Market. Oh, Luke, I didn't know you said that was the old bad comment. But Luke's a really good guy. Listen to him. We've done some work together. But him and I are part of a group. So, oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this comment. Look at this comment right here. So we're gonna go into upbeat homeowners. Let me set this up real quick. Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. Hold on a second, okay? Yes, Terry, I'm getting stalked, man. Like, you got that video I did. I'm not gonna use their name, but it was a loan officer. He has a lead generating channel. This guy's just such a psychopath, man. And he's in clear violation of CFPB residential marketing laws. I'm like, dude, should I make some videos on how to report these content creators that are lying to the CFPB? And how do I know that they're in violation? I'm in residential mortgage lending. So when I hear them talk, I'm like, man, you can't say that. Anytime a content creator has like a loan application or anything leading to any type of like residential mortgage stuff, huge restrictions, huge violations. That's why you guys see on my channel, I have nothing linked. Nothing that you hit on my channel is going to be linked to something you have to pay for. Now, I put a couple data source links where you need a subscription to buy them, but you guys, I don't want to make. I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling anything. In fact, it is what it is, you guys. But I'm going off on a tangent. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's my fault. Yes, these cheerleaders are like, man, it's so crazy, you guys. But we're not out of the the woods here yet. All right, so let's go into a story now. This is interesting. This is a Fannie Mae report, and what I like is it's going to go into sellers, and it's going to be basically go into the fact that sellers are now getting more motivated to sell, which I'll argue is pretty important. All right, good. I can okay, good. So the arrow's not skipping. So, and you guys, I'm going to have all of this linked in my description. Let me put Cindy. I almost messed up. Cindy and my timestamps. All right, I got my timestamp in here. So this is Market Watch, you guys. This is free. They charge you a subscription if you look at like too many articles. So they keep trying to charge me. But I'm going to just briefly go through this. This is kind of some good news. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. A lot of things battling each other. Like the Fed is fighting the Fed. And the really hard thing for me, guys, is I haven't been through an inflationary cycle before, like in the 70s and 80s, and there's like a lack of data from the 70s and 80s. So a lot of, like my opinions other than the data is I'm talking to people that went through it, like in the 70s and 80s, and they all say the same thing. They're like, yeah, I mean, depending on the job market, the housing market was destroyed, completely destroyed, except in areas where the job market was flourishing, like in Houston. So Houston actually, the last two collapses per se, Houston actually made it through really well because of the job market. Now, homeowners are upbeat about the housing market for one key reason. Fannie Mae says, and Fannie Mae is the real bank, in my opinion. Okay, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. You guys, I got some hate. Okay, I see you guys talking about Ramsey. Oh my gosh, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's something wrong, you guys, with StreamYard because I can't show you guys this. Okay, I'm gonna do something else. StreamYard is driving me crazy. All right, I know this will work. Okay, now let's read a couple things about this. Okay, with mortgage rates staying stubbornly high above 6%, homebuyers feel a lot more challenged by the housing market. As their budgets shrink, they need to factor in more costs for higher interest rate payments. Well, they got no choice if they're buying right now. Now, the typical homebuyer's monthly payment is up $350 from a year ago. And then from a year ago, that was up like what, $700? My gosh, it's just like no mercy right now, according to Redfin. Now, home sellers felt as though it was a moment to seize. 65, well, let's get more inventory then. You guys know what I'm talking about? 65% of consumers believed it was a good time to sell their home compared to 62% in April. And when I read that, I was like, what? 65% of consumers. Now, it's not specifying if those consumers are homeowners. So if those consumers aren't homeowners, then the 65% really doesn't matter. But if those consumers are homeowners and understand the struggle, that is huge. That's a huge 65%, right? I think that's a huge thing. But again, if they're not homeowners, it doesn't matter. Okay, one big reason for sellers' confidence, the low inventory of homes for sale is pushing up home prices. That's good for sellers, but makes home ownership very expensive for buyers, right? And there's no question about it. It's absolutely, historically, statistically, completely terrible time to buy right now. From two standpoints, from an affordability standpoint, and from an equity growth breaking fundamentals crashing bubble, holy smoke standpoint. There's like multiple standpoints here. Now, the bull's argument is there's just not enough inventory. It's just going to keep going up because there's not enough inventory. So my thing is like, well, what happens when there's enough inventory? What happens then, right? We already know what happens then because we're seeing it happen where? In Austin. Austin is the only metro area right now, the only metro area. Think about this. Austin's the only metro area with inventory above pre-pandemic. That's why it's still crashing as far as prices right now. So again, those metro areas. But the interesting thing is like San Diego, San Jose don't have an abundance of inventory. So different reasons, right? It's just this whole thing is just so interesting. But again, if inventory shoots up, it's dead. It's dead in the water. Unless what? Rates come back down to 3, 4, 5%. Anyways, the share of consumers who believe home prices will go up over the next year rose in May to 39% from 37%. This is the second month in a row that consumers forecast home prices to go up. I kind of feel like people are just being blown in the wind here. But less than half of the people, consumers, think that home prices are going to go up throughout this next year. Okay, they have already rebounded though. So very, very interesting. Let's go into our next thing, y'all. I thought that was a little bit of an update from the home seller aspect of everything. This is interesting. All right, now we're going to look at an investor, and we got to be careful. I understand this when we listen to investors or realtors because they're going to have a financial bias. But I will say though, some realtors appear they do not. Some realtors have been pleasant, but like when I did that NAR video, oh my gosh, I offended so many realtors. And that should tell you guys, like that National Association of Realtors video I did, if you go in those comment sections, there's so much hate from realtors. And if you think about that, like, that's crazy. Like look at that and ask yourself, do you really want to work with someone? If they get that upset with me, what do you think they're going to do to you when you ask about commission, right? If they don't have the ability to talk about commission, they should do something else, because the reality is, by law, commission is negotiable. So the fact that people got upset at me for like telling people like, hey, realtors make too much money, in my opinion, most of them do. You guys, I mean, come on, give me a break here. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of hard workers, but geez, my gosh, calm down, everyone. If you're a realtor, but there is also some good realtors. Anyways, okay, name of this is housing market going into a very frightening time, investor warns. Now, he's a billionaire. I think it's important to hear other people's perspective, obviously, and I prefer to hear perspective from people that are like much smarter than me, right? Why wouldn't I? But let's read what this says. A billionaire. Do y'all hear me? How does one person have $1 billion? What are they going to do? Why are they still working? Why, dude? Go help some people. If I had $1 billion, I'm not working anymore, unless it was like a charity or something. I'm going to go help the world out. I'm done working, right? $1 billion. Seriously, that's crazy. Anyways, $1 billion investor is sounding the alarm on the real estate market over a decade after he profited mightily off the housing market crash. So this is someone that's went through multiple cycles and who got filthy rich during the last crash, like all these other investors. It was the easiest time to become successful in real estate after 2009. So if any investors are listening, pat yourself on the back for making money in the easiest time in history. Since we had the doctrine bust in 2002, we've had artificially depressed interest rates. Jeff Green said during an interview with Fox. I didn't mean to say that. Please don't get upset at me. I didn't realize they're quoting Fox News here. People went off on me for quoting Fox. I ain't doing no Fox News or CNN. We're not doing it. There's too much division. Even though they sometimes have okay reports. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So people have never had this experience of rates going up. Think about it. Even me, and I've been doing this 21 years, I haven't gone through an inflationary cycle. I've gone through a market crash for different reasons. It wasn't from inflation. I think you're going to I think you're going to have not just office buildings. People aren't going to be able to afford to pay off their home loans that are due or their apartment building loans. We are headed into a very frightening time in the entire real estate industry. Okay? And he's warning, and he has a financial vested interest in the market doing well. So I think we should listen to people like this, right? He makes more money when the market does well, as do I. I make a lot more money when the market does well. So I want the market to do well, but it's not going to do well when it's so out of whack. Now, this goes on. Green, 68, has a net worth of approximately $7.2 billion. He accumulated the wealth by purchasing credit default swaps, crazy, on subprime mortgage-backed bonds during 2008 recession, and now reportedly holds much more of his money in real estate in Los Angeles and South Florida. So this dude is an absolute beast right here. This guy, This guy breathes and lives real estate, and he's warning people. He's warning people. There's millions of feet of office space. So when you build the best, newest, you're going to get the tenants. You'll get the tenants, he said. The problem is the other buildings that have tenants are going to lose them. As bad as it is for office space now, companies are going to be cutting back and reducing space. How about when AI kicks in? That's going to be a sledgehammer to white collar jobs. Okay, we'll read this a little bit here. So, in the first quarter of 2023, average U.S. office vacancies were 5.9%. Okay, so 5.9%, first quarter of 2023. That's absolutely insane. Now it goes on. We're going to end here. Barbara Corcoran, known for her role on Shark Tanks, echoed recently the same concerns, basically saying she anticipates a bloodbath before it gets better. So, really important to remember that, because everyone's acknowledging it. I think that, again, I think this needs to be reported on more, but a collapse in commercial real estate is going to be devastating, you guys, and it's going to impact in ways that right now we can't fathom. And the reason that is because there's just so much money tied into it, just like with mortgages, right? But in commercial, there's just so much money. So if there are defaults with that amount of money in the economy, it's going to have repercussions for everyone involved. Everyone involved in that. New home builders, developers, institutional investors. It's going to have massive, massive repercussions. It's not like we're talking about a $250,000 single family resident. We're talking about a $250 million project. So insane, you guys. So we don't know the impacts of that. And basically they're warning that there's like double whammies going on. Work from home is starting to reverse. People are cutting down on buildings. The old offices, people don't even want to be there anymore. This has huge repercussions, you guys. But let's read this. Let me pull this up here for you guys. Okay, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Right here, I like this one. I didn't do my timestamp though. Darn it. Okay. Oh well. So I like this article, and then we're going to go into our last thing, which is the Black Knight housing data report. I always find those charts very fascinating. But real estate has had such a roller coaster ride over the last 3 years, you guys. There have been multiple companies to go in and out of Fortune 500 status. The reason I want to talk about this is, again, when people stay bullish on the housing market, it's just a dangerous narrative. It's just a dangerous narrative to keep. And by showing you guys this, I hope you guys are seeing the volatility, right? And not only the volatility, how really expert people keep getting it wrong, right? And in my opinion, they get it wrong because of the lack of caution. But let's take a little bit, let's look a little bit about this article, and we'll finish up here. The Fed's man-made housing market recession, and this is federally induced, hit so hard that 4 real estate titans just lost their Fortune 500 status. Big stuff going on, right? We're still waiting on that recession. Okay, let's read this, and I'll show you the companies here in a minute. But not only did rock bottom interest rates during the pandemic spur a refinancing bonanza, but with the help of remote work and tight inventory, that also heated up the housing market in a way that hadn't been seen since the bubble, right? That's talking about 08. And when we compare the bubbles, there's really no comparison. The bubble right now is way worse. Borrowers simply couldn't pass up 30-year fixed rate mortgages at 3%, and in some cases, like mine, 2%. Few companies, of course, benefited more from the housing boom than rocket companies, which during the roughest part of the lockdowns did $5 billion in sales in the second quarter of 2020 compared to $1.6 billion the same quarter in 2019. So that's more of a double up. That's almost a triple up, but it's a double up. Okay, now here's the thing. They're like, that is over. Those days are behind us. We only went through that because of a pandemic. Everyone remember that, right? The COVID pandemic. They locked us down. They printed money. They jacked up everything. So that's behind us now. The mortgage rate shock created by the Federal Reserve's rate hiking campaign has set off a housing market recession. While national home prices remain fairly stable, housing activity has not. And that's why we're seeing companies suffer. Mortgage, realtor, title companies, escrow companies. While national home prices remain fairly stable, housing activity has not been so lucky. Residential fixed investments, otherwise known as housing GDP, has fallen for 4 straight quarters. While mortgage refinance applications and mortgage purchase applications are down a whopping 45% and 31%. Okay. Here's the thing, the fact that refinances aren't down are okay. So for refinances, okay, so refinances down 45%. Refinances should be down way more than 45% because if people are, and I'm not talking about a HELOC second mortgage. Okay, people are like, oh, it's a HELOC. No, I'm talking about refinancing, where you refinance your entire first loan and you lose your good interest rate. So that's skyrocketing. People are trading in their low interest rates because they need cash. People need cash right now. Not everyone. People need cash, and we're seeing that, and we'll see that in the charts here in a minute. Now, the Fed's man-made housing market downturn has been so sharp that when the Fortune 500 company list was revealed on Monday, it was missing 4 major real estate companies, which had been on the list since last year. That includes Rocket Companies and Zillow, Anywhere Real Estate, and Compass. All right, so take a look at this. Let me just scroll down. We're just going to go over the names here. I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time. I hope you guys have a great morning, by the way. I don't know if I've said that yet. I hope you guys have an absolutely blessed Thursday. I hope you have great mindset. I hope you guys love some people and are proud of yourselves and are just motivated. But take a look at this. So here's the rankings. Crazy, okay? So Home Depot went down 3 spots. Fannie Mae up 5. Lowe's down 4. Freddie Mac up 11. Freddie Mac is like financing, okay? But look at Lennar. This is so crazy to me that Lennar's in this. And their people called my employer to harass me, and they're a Fortune 500 company. Are you serious? I don't even know what to do there. I'm just speechless that even happened. But anyways, Lennar went up 12 spots. Pretty impressive. DR Horton went up 4 spots. CBRE down 9. But let's look at some of the bigger adjustments here. Take a look at Open Door. And Open Door is flip-flopping right now. As soon as the market shuts down again, I think it's around the end of June, you're going to see Open Door plummet once again. But Open Door went up 159 spots. So it's fair to say that Open Door was making a killing during the pandemic, which the reality is they weren't. They were still losing money. So now they're losing a lot more money. So I don't even know how they're on this list to begin with. Stock market's absolutely crazy to me sometimes. But look at this. Down here, Blackstone. Look at what has happened to Blackstone, you guys. Blackstone, not BlackRock. Blackstone, largest investor of rental properties. It's a specific type of rental properties. BlackRock is the biggest, but then it's Blackstone. Invitation Homes is actually just SFR biggest. But anyways, Blackstone is huge. Okay, Blackstone has lost a considerable amount of money. They have dropped 285 spots. They have lost, look at this. This is good. These are institutional investors. They've lost 62% in income. 62% in income. That's probably why investors are stepping out of the housing market. It starts with investors. They probably know stuff that other people don't know. Right now, it's not a good time to invest in real estate in most places. And then it goes to the rocket companies down here. You guys see that. They are 54% loss of income, down 291 spots. Look at Zillow. Zillow's down 139 spots. They're making 24% less. Huge numbers. Absolutely huge numbers. So I thought you guys would like that. I liked it. We don't want institutional investors to keep buying up houses. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. All right, guys, I'm going to try to do this now. Okay. This never works well for me. We're going to go over the Black Knight report, but I'm going to try to do the best I can to be able to write on it, but they hate when I write on their forms and they kick me out. So I'm going to do the best I can, but we're going to go over, I love Black Knight's report. Let me pull this up for you guys right here. Okay. I wish I knew, maybe you guys know, I wish I knew how to get those black lines on the side out of this for you. You guys can see that. All right, but let's go and dig into this, okay? I love these reports. Let me get myself out of the way. I really love these reports. All right, let's go. Now, obviously, I've already covered delinquencies. Okay, let's zoom into the delinquencies. I want to make a point here. First of all, when you see it bounce off this line right here, okay, that doesn't mean zero. That's at 2%. I hate when they do that. They should just go to zero so that we can really see how many defaults are at. But right now, defaults, I want you guys to understand this in case you're waiting for a foreclosure crisis to happen this year. Understand that we're far back on that right now. Delinquencies as at 3.31%. That's historically low. But what I wanted to point out is look at this spike up. Okay. Now, this is just a couple reports, so it's not necessarily a trend, but it's starting to spike up. And you guys saw that in a Redfin as well. Redfin comes out today with their housing market report. We finally had some stuff reverse, like months of supply, like for the first time in like 4 months went up. I wonder when our Fred chart's going to update with our inventory as well. I'm going to check that before I end this broadcast, see if they updated. So anyways, delinquencies are still super low. Take a look at this, though. This is the 1 month change in delinquency rate. Okay, 25% change. So that's what I'm saying. That huge spike, it could be a sign of things to come. It could be a sign that homeowners, specifically homeowners, are starting to feel the pain. And we already know that the pain is going to be felt by anyone that purchased in 2022 and on. So they're already going through the pain. But I'm talking about the people that have the 3% interest rates. It appears that they're starting to feel pain as well, although this doesn't break down their interest rates. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. That's really cool. None of this is, look at this. This is interesting to note. This is the spread. So this is the 30-year to 10-year spread. And I wanted to point out that the spread is getting bigger. The spread is basically from here to here. Okay. Because remember last time we basically needed a 4% 10-year treasury to get a 7% mortgage rate. That's starting to like gap. So basically what I'm saying is we no longer, as of right now, we don't need a 4% 10-year treasury to hit a 7% mortgage rate because it's that gap or the spread. And I'll read that down here for you guys. Okay. Which is right here. The spread between the 10-year and 30-year fixed rate mortgage is hovering around 300 basis point difference. That's insane. Pretty huge gap right there. So that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Average credit score, not really interesting, staying about the same, but we can see that credit scores really started to drop in 2022 right here. It's kind of gone straight down to about right here. And that represents cash out refinance. So what we noticed with cash out refinances, credit scores have absolutely tanked. They went from about 720 to a little over 680. So again, that's showing us there are some people, not all, but there are some people that are suffering with owning their houses. Or not even necessarily owning the houses, but suffering in some way. Yes. I know. I saw that, Cindy. It is 6.95, but that's as of yesterday. So I'm hoping that did it update today yet? You guys tell me if it updated today. And then I want to look at Fred active inventory as well. Let's go here. Let's go to the next thing. That's pretty interesting. Payment to income ratio. Look at this, guys. It was messed up when let me show you guys. When it spiked right here, okay, when it spiked right there, they didn't put out the report. I was like, man, that's messed. No, I'm sorry. When it spiked right here, they didn't put out that report, okay? But generally, it's basically considered that we want this at 25%, which means 25% of our median household income goes to paying off our mortgage. Right now, it's sitting at 34.2%. Now, it reached, you guys, the first arrow here. So this first arrow here, it reached, you guys ready for this? 36.8% last fall. So last fall is at 36.8%. So we've been higher than where we're at now, but it reached 36.8% because the rates hit 7%. So if the rates are 7% right now, we can assume that the payment to income ratio is around 36%. The reason why that's so crazy, and there's a lot of people saying just buy now, you'll get trapped renting. Pretty psychopath right there. Huge violations to say that, by the way, if you're a residential mortgage lender and you're selling, your services. But maybe I'll do a video on that. I'm debating it. Last time we had this level of unaffordability, 80s, right in this pocket right here. Okay, look it. The 80s. Because why? Because during the 80s, we also went through an inflationary cycle like we're going through right now. But take a look at some of the more expensive places right here. Look at Los Angeles. You guys, I was born in Los Angeles. Wasn't raised there. I was born there, but geez Louise, you guys. So payment to income ratio, Los Angeles, 65%. San Diego, 57%. San Jose, 55%. San Francisco, 53%. Let me explain why that's so crazy. So it's like the top 4 metro areas of unaffordability are all in California, okay? Yeah, the delinquency rate is like the lowest in California. That means that according to the numbers, people are somehow not struggling to make their mortgage payment in California when compared to other states. I have no idea how that's even possible because they look at the unaffordability. The unaffordability is off the charts. But again, and honestly, I think the possible reason that is California keeps making moratoriums to kick the can down the road, like foreclosures and stuff. So that could be what we're seeing and why that's happening in San Diego. But the next one is Miami. So Miami's number 5 at 46. So Miami's up there with unaffordability. It's starting to get cooled off. Then we got New York. There we have Seattle at 42, Riverside, another California, 41, Nashville, 38, and Sacramento at 38 as well. So it's like no mystery, right? We know that things are super unaffordable. All right, I'd already buy right now. All right, let's take a look at the month over month. All right, take a look at this. This is why I'm saying, man, uninflation. I'm sorry, uninflation. Is that even a word? Inflation is it's just out of control once again in the housing market. And bank bailout. I mean, give me a break. I mean, we got to take the bank bailout into consideration. But this is important to watch, you guys, because pretty much every single metro area on a month over month basis has seen price increases. Okay. Price increases month over month. And that's what you're seeing here. Now, we already knew the East Coast was, but I was hoping that Florida was going to stay balanced. Florida is not. Florida had slight increases up, but we are seeing continued decline, and I want to make that point here in Austin, right here. Okay? We are having a continued decline in Austin. Now, although there's only a fraction of people that live in Austin that listen to my channel, so we have to look at the entire picture, not just hone in on Austin, but I also think it's important to ask ourselves why. Okay, not just dismiss it, oh, it's only just Austin. No, why? Right? Ask yourself, why is that happening? And you guys, other than the basic stuff, right? Huge run up in prices from the pandemic, but we've had huge prices increase from the pandemic, and other areas are not declining like Austin. So why is Austin declining so much? And the reality is they're the only people with inventory. Austin's the only metro area with inventory that is exceeding pre-pandemic inventory. So again, what this means is if we get inventory, the same things should happen around the nation. The problem is instead of getting like a lot of inventory the start of this year, we lost inventory. And again, I just think that inflation, it turns out the inflation on top of the other things that I've mentioned, it's just too strong. We should have had higher interest rates sooner. We should have kept them elevated in the 7%. Instead of that, came back down to even low 6%. People bought houses. They're now trapped in their houses. Overall, probably trapped in their houses with an inability to sell or refinance if they purchased after 2022. And a lot of you guys don't know what that feels like and don't know how bad that can be. I know how bad that could be because I lost everything and it happened to me, And anyone that owned right now that wants to move also knows how bad. Now, look at this. Here's the change in peak. Okay, I thought they were going to kick me out. Good. I have to carefully touch the screen. So, you guys, some people are absolute maniacs. All right. I'm not saying anyone else listening to my channel, but like these realtors and people like you guys like that are saying it's the best time to buy, like Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey said, you guys, I told you so. Prices have never gone down. Oh my God, Dave, someone get this today. Prices have gone down all over the place. The thing is, they're just rebounding right now. I believe it's a cycle, a type of dead cat bounce cycle. And we're right on the other side of the price decline. So long as the Federal Reserve stops printing money, and keeps the rates higher. As long as they don't print money, keep the rates higher, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen exactly like I'm saying it is. Pretty sure on that. I'm even putting my own life on the line on that by renting still. We don't know for sure, but you guys, this is the red flag. This is a sign. This is the thing that we know broke fundamentals. Okay, so the fundamentals is not supposed to have that. So this is again from peak. So all of these areas, pretty much all these areas right here, okay, and here, they haven't even rebounded yet. It's not even got to the 2022 values yet. People are freaking out. I understand people freaking out though, because it does suck, because it's like, man, do we have to do all this over again? And I'm going to tell you guys, oh, thank you for the super chat. You didn't have to do that, Cosmos. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I hope you're getting value. My head is gone. I'm here. Thank you. Appreciate that, man, from the bottom of my heart. You don't have to do that. I want to hear stories of you guys buy someone's groceries, cup of coffee. They're, someone that is broken, and having a bad day. You have no idea how small acts of kindness can help people. It's just the smallest acts of kindness. So we're not out of the woods. If this was positive, I'd be like, dang, man, like I was wrong. I got to figure out how to buy a house now because the house price is going to go up, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, come on, you guys. And let me just make this point real quick. I want to make this now, and then we'll finish this. Now, June of last year, the end of June of last year, that's when the price declines spiraled out of control for the most part, depending on your metro area. Okay, so again, depending on your metro area, I'm just saying for the most part, started declining the end of June last year. Now, compared to where we were at in June of last year, compared to where we're at right now. Right now, okay, comparing to last year, people are in more debt. Interest rates are higher, as are payments, and we're right on the cusp of a recession. So what do you guys, so if we do have a recession, the unemployment goes up, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying by recession, pretty much. Unemployment goes up. Don't you guys think that the price decline will be even worse this cycle? We're almost in the cycle. We're almost at the end of June. But don't you guys think, I think it's going to be worse than last year, because now we have a worse off consumer and a worse off economy. We have less money and more debt. So why wouldn't it go down faster? Time will tell. We're right on the cusp of that. But I just wanted to make that point, you guys. We haven't even had we finally had an increase though. We have had an increase of unemployment. Okay, so this is your year over year. Okay, so this isn't even peak. Here's your year over year. So any of these people that purchased in these areas that followed the advice of someone else is down year over year, 11, 10, 6, 5, 9, 12%. And I'm wondering that any realtor that led, and not all realtors do this. Some realtors are very good. They use the data. They let the customer decide. I'm talking about the other ones that use the emotion to push the sale. I wonder if they apologize to these people, right? I wonder if they apologize. I wonder if they said just refinance later, but oh, whoops, how could you refinance if you're upside down 13 or 11%? I doubt they got any apologies, quite frankly. And this is why I say the caution is needed. Now, we didn't get the continuation of the price decline, from March on, but it's right here. The data's here. You guys, we're still in the cycle. Interesting. Number one, look at right here. You guys already know. Austin, then San Francisco, San Jose, Seattle, and then there's Phoenix. I think Phoenix, I keep saying this, but, San Jose is just in such bad shape. I think it's going to be between Austin, San Jose, and Phoenix as far as the worst metro. But man, I kind of have my money on Phoenix. I think that they're really banking on that chip plant, to be honest with you. And a lot of people have said, like, they can't compete with the chip plant. They don't have enough workers there. Oh my gosh, it kicked me out. I hate that it did that. Okay, let's go over. I want to show you guys foreclosures real quick. Take a look at the foreclosure stuff. Okay. So I just wanted to let you guys know the end of 2006, okay, end of 2006, we had inventory of 383,000 foreclosures, and we had 538 people seriously delinquent. So 383 and 538. That was the end of 2006. Let's see where we're at right now. Okay, so we're at 240,000 inventory for foreclosures, and we have more. We have about the same. It's gone down. I can see that now. We have 502,000 people in serious delinquency. Okay, you can see that here, 502. Okay, you see that? And right here, you see 234,000 homes in foreclosure as far as pre-sale. So I'm saying this because look at from 2006. Okay, so like right here, you see that 729, and then it goes into the millions. Okay, so it goes, so you see the 383. So look at this 383. Okay, that 383 right there is 2006. Look at 2007, goes to 729, and then it just gets insane. And the reason I'm telling you guys that is because I want you to know how quickly it can go down like that. All right, so that's why I'm showing you that, guys. That. So right now, yeah, we have historically low, for the most part, historically low delinquencies. We have pretty low numbers, but what we know about history, and I just showed you that, you guys can have access to the data. What we know is it can spiral out of control. So again, just another reason to be cautious. Ultimately, y'all will have to make up your own mind. But in conclusion, you guys, I just really continue to think about, not other than the 16 things I highlighted in in a presentation, like 5 things that were putting pressure on prices going up, approximately 12 things prices going down. When we take that out of the equation, and I just compare what's happening right now compared to where we were at in the housing market, only the housing market in June, like I said, you guys, we're worse off now than we were last June. And the end of last June is when all of the prices started plummeting. So I think it's going to happen again, and I think it's going to be a whiplash. That's why I'm saying whiplash. I think it's going to increase the pace of decline than last year, especially, and here's the thing, if we have the recession, which we haven't. And I'm talking about job loss. We've had a lot of job loss, but not enough job loss to slow the majority of consumers down. And that's why we have that runaway inflation effect appearance in real estate. So you guys, that's everything. I appreciate you guys. Do me a favor, like the video. I will have this whole thing chaptered. I'm going to go back. I'm going to put all the links in here. So if you guys want to access it, go ahead. I'm going to do a Q&A probably Friday or Saturday, and I'll answer all you guys' questions. I'm going to keep this short, you guys. I'm not really going to dig into questions because I want to leave this video really just about the value and accessing chapters. But I absolutely love you guys so much. Juliet, have a great day. Cindy, everyone, the Deep, Texas, every single person. Appreciate it. Okay, let me pull this last thing up. Okay, so the Deep, we're not hitting 1 million in inventory. So I didn't say we were on this podcast, but here's the thing. This brings up a good thing. I have a bet, and let me look at the inventory right now, the Deep. I have a bet with 3 people, Vital, Medic, and Vital Signs, Johnny and Jeff, that we hit. And I'm going to send him $1. Johnny's always like, you going to send me my dollar? You better send me the best dollar. I'm like, I'm going to send you the worst dollar. When it crumbles up, it's going to be ripped, Johnny. He's on me, man. Like, I know my bet. Okay, let's see, though. Let's see if it updated. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to check Fred right now. Home inventory. I think it's too early, but I'm going to see. Oh, it did update. It did update. I don't know. I can't believe I haven't covered this yet. Okay, take a look at this. It updated 6 days ago. So I already did see this. I just forgot to talk about it. Horrible. Okay, horrible. It did go up. So inventory did go up. All right, so it went up from April to 582. So it went from 563 to 582. That sucks. We wanted it to go like up, not like barely up. So it did barely go up. I just wanted to tell you guys that it did go up a little bit. But now, you guys, we're kind of like at that do or die scenario where, like, okay, June is here now. And that's only to May, but June is here now, right? These are the inventory months. We better start seeing it. And if people keep buying, we're not going to see it. We're not going to see it like we need to see it. But I'm going to keep my eyes on that, obviously, you guys. But other than that, really appreciate you guys. Let me get onto my other camera right here. Really appreciate you guys following along with me. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you guys know I wish you luck, and I hope you win. I appreciate you guys. Once again, have